over stuff because I saw the Moors building with the Moor yesterday, and the Moors were in the building. So if you have any high points from yesterday, just shoot those up and we'll just discuss some of those things from the lecture.
First, I pointed, distinctly lift us up. The speaker, let us know. Let them know that we're there.
Yeah.
One of the things he did, he made sure.
Remember, we're talking about this is something that the sellout scholars would never do. Right? Something the sellout scholars would never do. And to date, we can say, as far as, speaking up for the Moors, we can say, as far as here is concerned, we can say, Dr. Phil Valentine L came here, did a lecture. Moors were at the lecture, vending. Phil Valentine told all the Negroes, remember it was Negroes that brought Phil Valentine here, it wasn't Moors. But Moors were at the lecture, right? And Phil Valentine told all the Negroes, remember they rep him, told all the Negroes, make sure you guys go to that table over there and buy everything off those guys' table. Because the Moors have certain information that black people need to know, that black people don't want to know, which is why I'm telling you, go to those Moors over there. Right? Professor Dr. Kaba. Formerly known as Booker T. Coleman, came out, sat down with Brother Taj and Larry, black guy Larry. Brother Taj and Dr. Kaba were sitting down, doing the sit down. What is it? 4 hours or something like that. The black guy was probably on there about 10 minutes. Right? The whole other time, the conversation was between Dr. Kaba and Brother Tashriq Bey. And Dr. Kaba coming to more and more and more and more of a realization of, oh, there's more to Moorish history than even what I know. Like, I thought I knew stuff about Moorish history, but now that I'm sitting down with this man, Tashriq Bey or whatever, I'm getting some whole different insights that I'm going to have to humble myself and then go over here, go back, study some more. And then when you go check his website right now he's all in. He's going to the black lectures and telling them, you guys are Moors. Letting them know, doing classes, has music out, has whatever. Anything that he's doing is relative to M-O-O-R now. He's not even doing the black stuff, right? Professor James Small, again, was here in the flesh. Black guys brought him here. Black guys brought him here. Right? You think these black guys came and checked the Moors or whatever since this lecture?
No.
Right? What, because I know you were there for most of it too.
Yeah, I see that.
What was, yeah, just some of the stuff that James Small brought up relative to the Moors.
He even told them that they are the Moors. Go ask them.
Right.
He did tell them that.
Small.
Yeah, he did tell them. Go ask them.
Right. They're right there.
They're right there. Go ask them.
If you think that what I'm saying is not what it is, there's the Moors right there that I'm talking about on the board. Go ask them right there.
Nobody asked.
Nobody. Small, with Professor Small.
Yeah, like basically what the brother was saying, basically, because what happened is basically he forgot his whole lecture, like his whole presentation, so he was just using another presentation from somebody else, right? So he was basically reading everything word for word, because it wasn't really his presentation, right? But anything that he freestyled, like from the dome, that it was all about Moors. Pretty much when he was not reading from the slides. And then when he was referring to, you know, he was always tying back to the Moors somehow within when he was talking, when he's expanding on the his slide, you know what I mean?
Right.
Expanding on it.
Right. Also, remember once again, the repetitive theme, James Small just did a lecture with Sabir Bey and Tashri Bey. And James Small told Sabir Bey, I'm starting to learn more about the Moors. I have to. I can't be a scholar and not know about the Moors. Right? You can get at Brother Sabir for the DVD of that. Or the email or whatever it is that they're going to send. Right? So, the brother was there speaking up for the Moors. Right? Not in some, like when you talk to black guys who are in the diaspora and whatever like that, how they talk. He was talking in favor of it. Right? Now he was talking about one instance was there was a brother there that had on a black something on his head, and he was saying that it reminded him of some of his ancestors, right? So every time he was scanning the room and then he got to the brother, his ancestors were talking to him through the brother because he was making this point of recognizing that the ancestors aren't using you. You're using them. You're not, oh yeah, ancestors or whatever like that, so that the ancestors could come down and then the ancestors are going to do something because you call them to do something. It's orders. Like you're the ones
in the moment.
They're the ones that are here to assist you while you're in the moment. Right? He made another reference of, you know, we're sitting in the room here, but our higher self is on whatever plane that it is, and it's the one with the joystick playing us. And we're down here like, yeah, we got something going on or whatever like that, when this has nothing to do with us. Right? We're on the board. There's other people on the board, and, oh, yeah, we're gonna move them there, move that guy there, bring these two over here, get them together to whatever it is that they do, because there's a higher thing going on, right? He brought the brother with the turban, and he was saying that as far as like that individual, it's not about that individual, it's about what is coming from that individual, right? A sister brought up, you know, how do we deal with Trump, and how do we deal with, you know, certain things now that we have this acquired knowledge? Yeah, chemtrails, right? There's chemtrails. How do we deal with all this and having this acquired knowledge or whatever? And with the chemtrails, he's like, chemtrails been around so long, that's nothing now. Yeah, somebody bringing up chemtrails now as a threat on the people or whatever, those people they're new, yeah, they're new to some info. If they're worried about some chemtrails, that should be the least of their worries right now, right? One thing that I wanted to bring up, because going back to that same theme, was that one of the sisters making a comment, she was talking about dimes, right? About how her uncle passed away or whatever like that, and she keeps seeing dimes, and then that's like a reference to, oh, him, you know what I mean? The uncle, a memory or whatever. And the chief was saying, well, you know, yeah, you can look at it like that, but also look at it as maybe that's you sending yourself a message. Not just your relative who brought this, you know what I mean, concept to you about when you see dimes, that's him. You know what I mean? It might actually be you on the higher realm trying to give yourself some messages or whatever. And that reminded me of a sister who I know that she's native. And when her mom passed away, there was a thing like that with dimes or whatever. So now it's every time I see dimes, I would tell her, your mom said what's up or whatever like that, because she, like our and her relationship goes back to high school, right? So it was like, you know, knowing who her mom was and stuff like that, you know, certain people who weren't around her, don't know, wouldn't have that experience. It'll be just her, like seeing these dimes all the time, dimes all the time, nobody else or whatever, you know what I mean? And I brought it up to her one day, like, damn, I keep seeing these dimes or whatever and all this stuff. And then she was saying, oh, you know, maybe it's my mom trying to whatever, so let me know when you see them, you know what I mean? And I be seeing dimes like crazy, you know what I mean? At the store, guy go in his pocket, 5 dimes drop out or whatever, right? So all these things to say that you know, what the chief was getting at was that you're not limited to here. You're not limited to the realm of the 3rd dimension and things happening on the earth plane. There's a higher thing that we're actually connected to, which is where we should be putting our attention. The other thing I was bringing up as an example is with the itch, if you have an itch, and then people usually, you know, would just, right? But they'll still be doing whatever it is. Oh yeah, I got an itch or whatever like that. So he was saying, well, okay, the itch, right, at that moment in time that you have the itch is asking for your attention, right? The itch wants to be known, wants to be accepted, whatever. So take all your focus and put it to the itch, and the itch won't itch, right? And making this correlation to, as soon as something's happening on this plane, know that there's a spiritual counterpart to it that you have to be aware of, because this is why we're the conscious people, or we know, or whatever like that, right? So we have to be the ones that are aware to pick up on certain things, so we know, okay, it needs attention, just give it some attention, and then it's not going to be no big deal. He was talking about, you know, people who are, you know, fake leaders or whatever. Don't even pay them any money. Just let the fake leaders and then the people following the fake leaders keep following to wherever they're going, because we can't even use them. Let's just deal with the people who actually have focus, could pay attention, can, you know what I mean, call spirits, talk to spirits, whatever, right? Any other? I know Tez had some other ones too.
Yeah.
He's more.
Just, oh,
Magic man.
I wasn't even going to talk about the lecture. I was going to mention earlier that day. We were thinking about the brother.
Yeah. Oh yeah, talking about the brother.
That.
Let us well.
And
since he walked in on cue.
Yeah, we're in a meeting talking about, just mentioning, you know, who was at Noble Drew Ali Day on Mufti duty, right? So we're talking about this brother here, Brother Houthi, and Islam brother, and just on cue, he called Cujo. So we're talking about him. A couple of us weren't sure who are we talking about. Oh, the tall brother. Okay, yeah. And then we all, as soon as we all kind of had it in our mind who it was, boom, he calls Cujo's phone. You know, just what's up, Islam. And that's earlier in the day before the lecture. Yeah. So then that, you know, just going back to what the brother said about the lecturer was saying that, you know, everything happens for a reason. Pay attention to, you know, what's going on in the moment. right? Because everything is for a reason.
We don't even know coincidences.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
There's always a reason for the happening. Because what the happening is, there's something going on. You know what I mean? And once you could pinpoint, or once you can make the connection between the happening and where the happening manifested from, now you can go past the happening and get to whatever it is that's supposed to be, you know what I mean, you're supposed to be going down. Right? He was talking about the whole idea of rituals, and that people's perception of the ritual is, you know what, okay, so you put the thing down on the thing, and then you do the, and then you don't do like this in order for the ritual, when you're supposed to be the one that makes up the ritual, because you're the one that has the access to the energy or the information. You're the one that the ancestors are using, right? And again, you know, even correcting those concepts, that we're the ones using the ancestors, right? We're not here being used by them, right? We're actually the ones. We are the ancients that's here again.
I just want to make a comment too that if it is flipped like that, where the ancestors are using us, that's a violation of the law.
Right.
You know, it doesn't work like
Right.
that. You know, and that's where possession comes in, where people are actually taken out of their body and something's replaced.
Used. Yep, their body's being used by something else. Straight up. Well, the more I said, the sound is now starting to get clearer. Funny. What else was there?
Oh, you mentioned too, you know, at the end of lectures, people always crowd up to him and ask him all the extra questions and whatever, when they don't even, like he asked, who has my contact info? You know, everybody has his contact info or whatever. And then he said, who else's contact info do you have in the room?
Community.
Nobody. Right? So nobody really, like, people were in there to take in his lecture, but at the same time, they weren't connecting with each other.
Right? So again, the whole theme that he was leading to was this idea of the people coming together so that some stuff would get done. Not coming together with a lecture and then everybody just goes their own way after a lecture and nothing happens because nobody got nobody's number, nobody got anybody's info, everybody just came, oh yeah, crowd around the guy whose lecture it is. No different like when we always cuss people about when Umar Johnson came here, and you have people in the community who, you know, they run their own business or whatever like that. They're there vending. And then he comes here from wherever, and then actually it was him and Polite that just went down with it. And they had like the tables like, you know, regular 6-foot table or whatever, right? And then on the table, their books were like here, on the table, like straight across. That was all their books, right? And these people left with their books here. And then all the people who are from here, all their stuff is still up here, right? And then you want to know how come, well, if you just gave that guy 8,000, because you bought all his books are like 50 each and up or whatever. He left with nothing. And then everybody who was here, they left with products still. Right? Because no community. Like when we say when we say after the lecture, the whole place, everybody was at those people's table. Everybody in the building, like we're talking about JCA, right? If you've been to JCA, you know the capacity of JCA. Okay, so we'll say not full house, maybe 80% of the chairs filled. When the lecture was done, everybody. Now one person from here, because I was sitting there watching, me and Marty sitting there watching, we were like, okay, let's just see how much people come to our table. We already know nobody's coming to our table, right? We're just there. One or two people that come up, yeah, here's the flyer or whatever, you know what I mean? But we know that our people don't want this, right? So we're just there, just to see if they're going to really support. Because they talk BS. Come on out, come then, we'll give you guys table for free and stuff like that. Because the Moors need to be there or whatever. Okay, well, we're there. And we're there, nobody's not coming to our table. Why are we here? What's the purpose of us being here? Because again, he made the point. How many times have you seen them kill a Hebrew Israelite in the street?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, how many times do you see them kill a Moor in the street? How many times do you see them kill the Nation of Islam or whatever? And he was bringing back the same thing because those people have some type of common unity, which is really what the strength is that these people really fear. They fear us being together, regardless of how we look. All the people with the right mind, and then their heart and their mind are in the same place, and then their soul's in the same place as their heart and their mind, and they got certain morals or whatever, they fear those people coming together and uniting. Because that's where the power is going to come from that the people claim that they don't have, so they have to, yell for it or march for it or do whatever that really isn't generating no power that way, right? Community.
Community from Black's Law Dictionary. Neighborhood, vicinity, synonymous with locality. People who reside in a locality in more or less proximity. A society or body of people living in the same place under the same laws and regulations who have common rights, privileges, and interests. And then it connotes a congeries of common interests arising from associations, social, business, religious, governmental, scholastic, recreational. The term community as used in a statute providing that communities may be incorporated for the purpose of supplying inhabitants with water should be construed to include all the inhabitants of a district having a community of interests or obtaining for themselves in common a water supply for domestic use. In connection with the rule requiring for purposes of impeachment a knowledge of the character of the witness in the community or neighborhood in which he resides, the term community means generally where the person is well known and has established a reputation. So yeah, those last three were the
main points.
Yeah.
Right? Society. When you go back to the Resolution 75, you got it right there on the wall. They talk about the Moorish society in Philadelphia, right? Because it was really, a community of people that have the same common rights, same common interests. You know what I mean? Society or body of people working together in harmony or the same thing, and then that's what it is, right? When and again, we know for the sake of disruption or argument, whatever like that, we already know that we're not this, but we understand the point that he was making with why he brought up the people recognizing this, right? And certain people, certain things don't happen to. Now, while we were closing out, while we were coming down to the end, he was making the point of doing lectures, when he does lectures or whatever, and he would do a lecture And because of what he's dealing with as far as the information, his lectures are make sure that, checks out the place, make sure his eyes are up, make sure he's looking at everybody, focusing on what's going on as far as in the vicinity.
And how much when you
Right.
see them doing notes, it uplifts it too and it pushes it.
Right.
When you see them doing notes in the audience.
Yeah. Seeing people take notes and stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's certain things that's expected, you know what I mean? In order for him to even feel comfortable enough to just let the spirit use him and him be able to spit the info, right? And having to hold back because he realized that, people are sleeping and, you know what I mean, not taking notes and whatever like that, so why am I even going to put out some info? I'll just be up here until, and 2 hours and then that's it, let's go home because nothing's going to happen, right? But what he was making the point of was that, and remember that how the place was set up is that when you enter, right, it's just similar to this. The door, it was in front of him, so the people aren't really seeing, you know what I mean, what he's seeing,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So he was talking about how as he's there at the front, he didn't have to do this, scan the room or whatever like that. He didn't have to do a check of the room or nothing like that because the Moors been in the back posted up.
And they never sit down.
All night.
Never sit down.
And he's making the point that there's a standard that these people bring, right? When they're around, you don't have to worry about protect whatever or nothing like that because that's what they're there for. You know what I mean? And remember, this is not a Moorish school of thought per se, right? This is just a brother dealing with, Igbo tradition, Orishas, you know what I mean? Things like that. Divination, throw cowrie shells, get a reading and stuff like that, right? This is the school of thought that he's in. But he knew that, Moors at the door? Okay, we could do whatever we're supposed to do. I'm not threatened. There could be no threat. And, it was, again, like being in certain situations, being in certain places, it might not necessarily be, it was for you there. You know what I mean? It was for other things because we went and the only reason that we had to be back there because there was no seats to sit down. Or we would have just went like everybody else sat down and there wouldn't even been anything. But a point had to be made relative to, the connection of the Moors, because he was also talking about things for rituals. And then he brought up oils and using herbs and essential oils and stuff like that, and rituals and all that, and Europeans even having this concept of this whole New Age idea of crystals and stones and oils for this and da. That's all stuff they learned from the Moors. Right now, whoever's there, that might have been something that just. Something in conversation, something he said, nothing really to take serious because we're not here for that. But we know that was brought up because we were there. Right? That point wouldn't have been made further, right, if we weren't in attendance. For him to have a reference point to know, okay, there's a certain plateau that this thing is at. Just because these individuals are here. Because he has to cater to us now, because we're here. You can't cater to the dumb people who don't know about this. Because remember, if he's Igbo, Nigerian, Ghanaian, school of thought individual, he knows that fezzes and all that stuff is. That's why we read the article from the beginning. That it's known that this is a chiefly headwear. So he was really practicing for the chiefs. If we do that thing about what he said. The brother with the turban represented somebody in his ancestors who we represent. Knowing that it's a modern thing that there's people in Nigeria that wear fezzes that are chiefs of tribes. Right? What, you know, where would that lead him to go? Right? Just for the simple fact of the presence of the Moors being there. Right? And, you know, in the end, I know Noor, I don't know if you want to go into the conversation that you and him were having at the end, because I know you and him were building a little bit at the end.
No, it was just follow up on the things with my sister.
Okay, all right, okay.
And how
Yeah.
it happened just the way you say it. Just like how you did the thought of you when you walked in.
Right.
And they saw the energy flow, but you got to know to recognize it when it happened.
Yeah.
So like me and my sister, we always recognize these things.
Yeah.
We could say, oh, he's calling me, and take the phone and call her. I say, you were calling me, yeah. Even my sister, she told me, there's a guy she met down there, dreadlocks, that's on the farm. He's the only one that got what she got.
Yeah.
Like, understood. The rest is...
The rest of it, they don't even know what's going on.
They don't know what's going on. And then the guy called her one morning. I said, sister, you called me, man, so I have to walk in the rain to come to the phone, to put minutes on my phone to call you. And my sister said, I don't even have minutes to call him. But he see me calling him 16 times. And he said it's my ancestors that, the way she, you know.
Yeah.
Because he never called him. But he said on his phone, he said, you called me 16 missed calls.
Yeah.
He never make one call. So he didn't try to tell him, no, I didn't. She just rolled with it and do what they had to do.
Yeah. Right. So it's common knowledge among the people who know when it comes to, you know what I mean, spirituality, metaphysics, astrology, whatever. There's a certain expected mindset that one's supposed to have today. Right? Too much access to information for people to be dumbed down today. If people choose dumb down today, it's strictly due to consent to being that.
You know, more with the word community.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation, and I was making mention that, you know, a business, if anybody sets for business, the mind state shouldn't really be to make the most amount of money that you can make. Because with a business, if it's centralized upon the basis of your morals and your cultures, values, and traditions for the nation, your business is supposed to outlive your actual lifespan. You know, because it's for the promotion of what the individual's interests are for the nation, and that is supposed to, that's 360. That doesn't ever stop.
Right.
You know, that doesn't ever stop. Even though you see this United States government shut down, or even whatever, that stopped. Anyways, coming off the topic, but you know, I say I because, you know, I didn't really know much about Moor when I came to the Moorish science, but as I hear the Benjamin say all the time, you don't have to study to know Moorish science before you can actually start acknowledging that using Moor. So I say that because we as people gotta stop this individuality thing, like I this and oh I'm trying to get this and okay, you know, it's one thing to say the plans that we're doing right now, we're doing it to better ourselves, to help the people that we want to help, and the people that we do need to help, and the people that we're obligated to help. But you know, at the end of the day, we must be mindful that it's not about I.
Straight. I just realized you're on your shirt.
Yeah. I choose it. I said someone put me there. Okay. Just like this.
Yeah. Bring that up here for a second. I just realized that. Because one of the boys just yesterday, let me just had the convention picture.
Mm-hmm.
We had the convention picture. The Moorish Science Temple of America convention picture, where at the bottom left side, give that more. At the bottom left side, there's a man on there that looks like Taj, right? And then Brother Supreme, a couple of days ago, like further up in the picture, at the top row, there's a sister like kind of in the back, just looking like Sister Roz. Right? So the ancestors are definitely back. Right? Here again. To do what's supposed to get done. Right? It's not even a joke out here. It's not even a joke. Right? Any other standout things from, I'm just gonna check the email right now. Any other things that stood out from yesterday? And also too, if anybody has questions, you could just shoot those out. We're today's Q&A day.
I just want to say this in regards to the word community, and just looking at it as a compound word. It's really saying community.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And if we're really thinking about building with each other and making this world a better place and uplifting fallen humanity, we have to come together for a common unity that respects all of us as a part of the human family, and recognizing that there's been an incorporation and domination that's been subjugating us all to work through a corporation rather than working through the connection with our ancestors and connecting us to the land. And when we come back to that concept of family, you know, our souls are expressed and gives us this nobility and connection to the planet. Like, there's no corporation that can really subjugate us when we have that mindset.
Exactly.
And when we all come together, we come to unity and we come as a family. And that's what this is all about. It's just uplifting this fallen humanity.
Yep. And even you weren't even there yesterday, and then you brought that up too when he was talking about the whole money thing. Well, not needing money. Right? Everybody thinks, oh yeah, in order for us to be a community, we need to have some type of whatever. They're saying, well, no. If you got the potatoes and I got the plumbing, and then that individual has the mechanic, and then he has the holistic health, whatever, then there's no need for any finance. You know what I mean? The money becomes a medium of exchange.
I'm gonna go get hungry and want some potatoes.
Right? You know what I'm saying? And if you don't have potatoes, there's a lettuce guy, or a beets guy, or whatever it is that we need in order to say, okay, now we got, you know.
And even with what you're saying about how at that lecture there was like people coming from all over, and only one person was really having the material sold from everybody.
Yeah.
If everybody was just working together, you could have bought everybody's stuff, so everybody feels the benefit of being there and getting their information out. And then whatever you're buying, you're just exchanging with the community. Yeah. It's like everybody could have had the potential to, you know, make their profit, you know, feel comfortable, feel happy, opposed to one person making it all and everybody else feeling like, well, why was I even here? But people will just like work together, be like, yo, I'm gonna grab this one, you grab that one, and when I finish, we'll switch up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That way, everybody works together. The exchange shows the real value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not making the profit more important than what the people are representing.
And one more point to that is that you're not faulting somebody else to get something.
Yes.
Because in all societies today, with these corporations, they don't care how much people you have to kill to get what you need, right? So you need to
British numbers.
you want to be unified and get that ultimate.
Yeah, we put the corporation in the place.
They're definitely playing around today, but
I wanted to add,
yeah, man.
this is from the Metaphysical Dictionary. I was looking for the community, but they have neighbor, right? And the word neighbor, it derives from the word, I think it's pronounced Neil, N-E-I-E-L, Neil. It says God's dwelling place, inhabitants of God, dwelling place of the Most High, a border city of Asher in the Promised Land. The metaphor is a group of thoughts established in truth, abiding places of spirit. In brackets, God's dwelling place. Neighbor, who is my neighbor? Luke 10:29. Metaphysics. Every soul that dwells upon the earth is your neighbor. My neighbor, there is no such thing as distance in spirit, nor in the operation of spiritual laws. Through us must the law of divine love binds up and heal wounds, resolve errors, and restore light and order from out of chaos. Your neighbor, Luke 10:25-37, refers to the outer form in which life manifests, whether it be your own body, the body of other person, or of animals. And then it goes on some more, but I just wanted to point out that.
Any comments on that?
So, no, I just found it interesting. It said your neighbors is every living soul.
Yep.
On the planet. I think you even said human race or something. I heard on planet
Animals.
Right, and then
Animals
again,
too, yeah. Animals too. That's a big responsibility.
remember Noble Drew Ali. Was an Egyptian addict that taught through the Quran that every living thing is bound by a cord. Right? When he also said when man honors man, he honors Allah. We're going back to the same thing, that there's this connection, there's this interwoven. What's up, bro? There's this interwoven spirit energy that is connecting to all things that are on that frequency, right? All things that are quote unquote living. You know what I mean? Have that connection, right? So again, if anybody has questions, you could throw those out. We got a few questions in here, so we'll deal with some of those.
There was something yesterday about the melanin, when he was saying about the melanin. I didn't get the full picture of what he was saying.
Yeah, you were saying like somebody asked what it is, what does it do? He said, melanin is like a amplifier.
Yeah, amplifier, yeah.
And he said, in the conscious community, we like to take it as a point of pride and whatever. But he said that melanin is not good, melanin is not bad. Melanin just is. So if there's someone who's can use melanin for really good things, and someone can use their melanin for really bad things.
It's funny when he's saying the word melanin, I'm hearing knowledge, Say the word melanin, I'm hearing knowledge.
Yeah. There's another word that he made reference to it, melanin. Yeah, but yeah. Melanin is just what it is.
And I haven't confirmed or checked this study or not, but I was told all beings on the face of the earth have melanin.
Everybody has. But I'm not disappointed in that.
That's the thing that he was making point of, that the conscious community people have a mindset that melanin is theirs.
Yeah.
Just limited to them. When melanin is something that everything that's living is got.
Yeah.
And then he was making up the thing about he was talking about Krishna. In ancient times they had Krishna depicted as black. Right? And later he became green. Because then, it has people in dreamland opposed to dealing with the reality that Krishna was a brother, right? But as soon as you get them into green people and, you know,
He was
hawkhead people or whatever, you know what I mean? I mean on blue, yeah,
Blue.
right? They made it blue, right? Right? Well, yeah, he was talking about Osiris being green, and then the relation of melanin being to the green. That, you know, they're still talking about melanin, even if they say green or purple or whatever. They're still talking about the same thing. So you can't just limit it. It can't be something just limited to these beings only is what melanin is connected to. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah, that's something that people, you know, has. I wasn't there, but people, not only in the conscious community, but just people in general, you know, got to get off this mindset. This, I don't know if he's still on his mindset, this black, white, whatever, or you liking them or not liking them, because nobody doesn't like nobody because how they look. It's what do we see your heart to be?
Yeah. Passport.